That another question, Sadeka, you answer for yourself. The last question, because I know, no, I know you have answers to that. You answer that. The rule of arts and yes.
Gotcha. ሚካ ሀሳቦችን ያካፍለናል ማለት ነው። በጣም እናመሰግናለን።
I always like to introduce myself as an African who loves Africa, you know, with everything I got. And I was born in Africa, here, Tanzania. That's me. Well, in my studies, like undergraduate school, I went to South Korea. That's where I've been for 9 years. Yeah, and it's confusing a little bit. Yeah. So when I got there, it was my very first time to, you know, go outside of Tanzania, outside of Africa. And when I got there, the first time I got there, that very moment I realized that I'm in a different world, right? Because of how people looked at me, or because of how I didn't know the language, I didn't know the culture, you know, I didn't know the food. Everything was different, right? So I realized that, oh, I'm in a different world. And at that time, they didn't have a lot of black people, African, in Korea, right? But my desire, it was to let people know a little bit about me, right? So when you go around the street, you'll see all this advertisement about Africa, right, from the NGOs. Yeah, you see all the time like these small kids, you know, and all the time you see these flies like coming to them, like something like that. They don't have shoes. The clothes is kind of like ripped off everywhere. And so every time when I walk around the street, you know, I'll feel like I see myself there. You know, I want to hide myself. Like, that's me. That's, you know, I want to hide myself. And nobody cared that I'm Tanzanian, but everybody just saw me as an African, right? And when you look at the TV, when you watch movies, that's the only thing you see. But it was really hurting me because I'm an African, I came from Africa, and I know my people, right? I know this is not the reality. You know, these are just people who wants to make money out of pity, right? Not everybody, I gotta say that. I don't hate them, I love them. That's why I went there. And I think, you know, since then, this desire of bringing out the truth, you know, it came to me. And I just wanted to show people who I am and, you know, what is Africa, right? And I believe that's when I began to talk a little bit about Africa, talk a little bit about my people, to show, not even talk, but also to show that, you know, this is me, right? And I remember this one time, it was like 5 years ago, I convinced like 4 of my different friends that, hey, you have to go to Africa. See, so we took a trip like from South Korea to Tanzania. The moment they land at the airport, they were surprised. They're like, are we in Africa? This is not what we see. They thought like we land at the middle of the jungle and they'll see lion and, you know, elephant running up to us. But it was beautiful, right? Clean. Like in Tanzanian airport, you can actually go to the toilet and eat injera in the toilet. That's how clean it is, you know? And so yeah, they stay there for a while and, you know, they saw how beautiful it is and everything. So, what I'm trying to say is, you know, because of that, because I experienced and I saw how my people are treated, right? I saw how the view about Africa is outside of Africa. I think that created a desire in me to transform that, you know, and yeah, I started to do that. So I remember first time when I began to do reaction, I was just doing reaction for Tanzania, Kenya, right? And one day I came across this one song, right? Ethiopian song. And I never seen anywhere, right? And I didn't know anything about, honestly, I didn't know anything about Ethiopian culture. I used to have my Ethiopian friend, but I didn't really know about the music and everything. It was just like, just another country. I was one of those guys that don't know much about Africa. So I listened to this song, and this song, it was amazing. It was really nice.
What was the song?
This one guy, I remember, I don't know his name, I think is Gidi. I don't know if you guys know him. So he had this one song, right? It has like East African vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, I did reaction for that song, and I was asking myself like, wow, this is such a nice music, but why I've never seen this? And after I did that reaction, I think that's when like a lot of Ethiopians watched that song and they were commenting, hey, you have to do reaction for this guy, Teddy Afro, Rofnan. I received a lot of comments about that, and that's my brother right there. That's my brother there, yeah, Sadeke. You know, because it was in Amharic, I didn't understand the language. He commented like very long message, like translating what this guy is singing, right? I'm a musician. I don't need to know the language to understand, but I just go with the vibe. You know, I feel it. So from that point, I had this desire. I was like, you know what? I mean, I didn't know anything about this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, they don't know anything about this. And I was committed from that moment to continue to do reaction because I wanted to know more about the music, this side, and I wanted to let more people to know about Ethiopian music because a lot of reactors out there, they do reaction for Nigerian music, right? Everybody knows about Afrobeat, right? Or South African or Tanzania, but not really. You cannot find somebody doing reaction for Ethiopian music, non-Ethiopian, right? So I did that, and I think a lot of people right now, they do as well. Yeah.
People.
That's a good question, Betty. She's amazing. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I was trying to remember the question. So every time when I do reaction, right? If you guys have seen the reaction, I always had a small segment of speech, little speech, talking about, you know, the music or any message that comes to my mind. And sometimes I was like going like for 10 minutes. The reaction is supposed to be like 8 minutes or something, but I have reaction like for like 20 minutes or 21 minutes because I had a long speech talking about something. Some people, they criticize that. They're like, man, you're talking too much. I want to enjoy the music. But one thing that I realized when I was in Korea is that a lot of people, they think, when they look at a black guy, they only think about entertainment, right? Like you can be a musician, you can be a comedian, you can be a dancer. They like that's the picture. You can go even to the US. Like a lot of people, when you tell them about Africans or black people, it's about entertainment. That's the only thing they know. But we both know that we are more than that, more than entertainment, right? We have doctors, like Mr. Sadeke there, doctors, Mr. Abeneza there, and Betty, constructor, engineer, right? Yes, exactly, and so many people. And I wanted to do, like, I realized that people, they don't have information, right? They don't know, and they don't have information because we don't talk about it. Most of us, we prefer to do entertainment because we can get a lot of audience and supporters because everybody's interested in entertainment. But we don't want to have serious talk. We don't want to be honest with one another, talk about Africa and how can we become one and how can we stop killing each other. You know, we don't want to talk about that because it's sensitive. That's how I started to shift a little bit. Because after I started doing this reaction, I saw a lot of people doing reactions. And so you have a lot of people doing the same thing over and over, but you don't have anything unique. And I wanted to be unique. So yeah, that's why I kind of shifted. I was like, all right, now I think we need to deal with this. And at that moment, in Africa, there's so many crises going on around the continent, everywhere. And we need people to talk about it. We're just sitting down and we're like, wish government can do this, wish he can say that, wish he can do that, but I can do something about it, right? And so I found myself in, in that position. I don't need to be a leader to talk about Africa. Or I don't need to be anybody. I just need to be an African who love Africa, talk about Africa. So yeah, that's how I shifted.
So how was the reaction?
The reaction, of course, the reaction was positive, most of people. Of course, I lost a lot of audience, especially from some other countries. For example, I can just mention, I lost a lot of audience from Somalia, because when I stopped doing reaction, they're like, why are you not doing reaction anymore? So a lot of people, I lost them, but also I got, a lot of people who, love Africa and want to see more than just entertainment and music. And also another reason, because I was receiving a lot of copyrights. I'm like, I need to produce my own content, and yeah, that's where we started. Yeah. The first time when I got there, I didn't speak the language. I only knew one word in Korean, and that is kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida means amaseganalo. It means asante sana. Thank you. That was the only word I knew. So the first 2 months, it was really difficult because I didn't like the food. In Africa, we're very social, right? You're walking around the streets and then you meet people, right? So every time, can I stand? I love being free. You can sit. Just like you walk around the street and then you meet people. Hi, I'm a second. How do you greet him? Salam, salam, right? So the first time I got to Korea, that was what I was doing. And I'm walking around the campus, I'm like, hey, hi. But people, they look at you and just like, this guy is a strange guy, right? They were looking at me like a strange guy because, like, you sit in the same bus on the same train, but they cannot talk to you. They don't talk to each other. It's their culture. Like, they don't know you, they don't talk to you, right? But we don't have that in Africa. In my country, like, I meet you for the first time, I don't know, you're my friend, you come to my house, I give you my bed, you eat my food, I don't even know who you are. But it's not the same thing there. So I was really hurt. I was like, I want to go home. And I was crying. I miss my mama. I want to go back home. But after 2 months, I realized that I was kind of like, I was not open-minded. I was still hanging on to what I had back home, and I was not open-minded. But after 2 months, I was like, I'm gonna let this go, right? And I want to learn and I want to grow. So I tried the food for the first time, and it was amazing. And I started to open little by little. And I think I used to call myself a Tanzanian Korean because I've been there for 9 years, and I became like one of them, but without losing my identity, right? That's one of the things that I thank God that He allowed me to keep my identity when I was there, and it was amazing. And a lot of people, they got to know about Tanzania and Africa because of me, because I was there. So one thing that we can learn from there is hard working. Those guys, they work hard, guys. They really, really work hard. 50 years ago, like Tanzania, Ethiopia, we had the same economic level in most of African countries. 50 years later, right now, we're not even in the same list, right? Of course, they had a lot of support, but they work really hard. When it's time to work, they give everything they got. They keep time. Time is everything for them. They don't lose time, right? And yeah, they work hard. I think that's one of the things that we can learn. I know in our countries we have people who are working hard, but majority they don't. Oh, can I say they don't? We don't, right? You gotta make it personal. We don't, right? That's one of the things that I think we can learn from one another. And another question was from Africa to them, right? Hospitality, right? I lived in this house for like 3 years, and I don't even talk to neighbors. Like, you don't even know who is your neighbor, right? Like, you could die inside and nobody knows, right? Because you don't talk to each other. You're living in the same house. There's this door and then another door, but you don't even greet one another, right? So it's a lonely life living in an environment like that. But that's their culture, right? We can't judge. That's how they survive for all this long. But I think that's what they can learn from us. Yeah. You know, like you mentioned, we have a lot of young people who are doing amazing with the social media, like Queen Desta right there, Habesha Travel right there. Guys, check them out. If you're not doing that, please check them out. They are doing amazing work, right? And you know, it's one of the problems that we do have these days. A lot of young people like me, us, we want to be popular, right? It's the easy way to make it out. And how can I be popular? It's if you make something that people are interested, people they love, trendy, right? What's going on right now. And a lot of people, if you ask young people these days, a lot of people, hey, who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? I want to become famous. I want to do this. I want to be a musician. Because of that fame, right? And that's why you find that you have a lot of people on the social media who are doing the same thing, exactly the same thing. And it's really hard when you don't know, like, your purpose, like why you're here, why you're living, what is that mission that, God has given you to achieve, or what you want to achieve. If you don't know that, then it's very easy to be swayed by any wind, right? Somebody will say this, you say, okay, yes, go this way. Yes. And so you find out that a lot of young people like us using social media in a different way. But if you go to the social media and write Ethiopia or Africa, you'll see what comes, right? You see all this, like a lot of YouTubers from other nations coming to our countries showing the negative side of Africa. That's what you see. That's what's trendy. That's what gives a lot of viewers, right? A lot of people. I saw this one video. It's talking about Burundi. 9 days, it had like 4 million viewers. I went to that content. I watched the video. Man, it's all about negativity. It's about this, and it's just one region, But that's what they show, and that's what the world sees. That's what is out there on the social media, on the internet. And that's why for me, I wanted to shift to pay attention, to focus on the positive side, because you cannot find a lot of positivity on the internet about Africa. You cannot, it's rare, right? And my mission, or my job is, to help young generation and people to know that, there's so much positivity about Africa. And if we can just go out there, put our content out there, just like these two amazing ladies are doing, Queen Desta and Habesha Traveler. If we do that, then a lot of people, they will get to know the other side of Africa, right? Using our social media as a mean of, this day social media is a job, right? So we have to use it as a mean of changing the narratives that are out there, the wrong narratives about Africa. You have your Instagram or Twitter or whatever, share some positive side of Africa. We know everything that is out there is about negativity. I don't have to share about negativity about my country because everybody does that, but I need to share the positive side about Africa. And nobody can do that but we, Africans, right? So it's a challenge, you young generation, use your social, old generation, even old generation, because we can all use social media and bring about positivity. Yeah, we just need to focus on what we know, because I'm African, right? I know about Africa than anybody else. If you're not African, you don't know about Africa than I do, because I'm an African, right? I was born here. I'm Africa every single day, right? That's who I am. And the best thing for me to do is to show who I am, to tell the stories about who I am. Okay, some people, they just can't do that because they're good at complaining. Then, take camera and complain on the camera. We gotta respond sometimes. Sometimes we have to, not to pay attention to those noises, but sometimes we have to respond with actions. Or for example, we're talking about that video, like us, One Africa, after we saw that, we said, in Swahili Nation, we said, you know what, these 4 kids, because the thumbnail of that video, it says that 4 kids for sale. That's the thumbnail of the video, 4 kids for sale. And in this world, you have a lot of people who are doing, children trafficking around the continent. They come, they they pretend to adapt, to help the kids who don't have parents, don't have anybody, but they're taking them away. And those are the ones who are working like slaves, you know, in Saudi Arabia, in the US, in some other parts of the world, and we have no idea. So what we did as a Swahili Nation One Africa, we were like, you know, these 4 kids that are here, we are going to take them and we're going to bring them to school. Right? So it's our response. That, all right, you're sure, you just go there to film, to get content, you get a lot of money, people, they comment a lot of pity comment, but how do we respond? Instead of just complaining that, oh, look at that, no. We as an African, we love one another. We understand the struggle that we are going through because we are all suffering through the same thing. So we're going to Burundi, we're going to take those kids and we're bringing them to school. And I think that's the way we have to do. We really have to love one another, right? We really have to care for one another. We really have to feel each other's struggles, right? We cannot ignore that, okay, that is just Burundi kids, oh, that is just Ethiopia. No. When Ethiopians are going through hardship, I'm Ethiopian, because I'm an African, right? And the same thing to any country, you know, across the Africa. We need to carry each other's burden and help one another, and that's one of the ways that we can do.
And when we get back to the topic of this event, it's related to culture and art. So, and you've been reacting to Ethiopian music and everything, even other African music. So, what do you think the commonalities between African cultures?
I think the first thing is African culture is beautiful, no matter where you go, right? Like the clothes you wear today. Tanzanians, they wear these. Kenyans, they wear. Where did you buy this, by the way?
Uganda.
Uganda. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful wherever you go, right? And I think that's what the world knows about Africa, right? What culture, that they have so much richness in culture. You go to any country around the continent, you find uniqueness, right? But we all share the same thing in common, in a sense that, you know, I don't even know that I was born as a musician, but I know that I can sing because I have a voice, right? And I know that I can dance because I'm an African. It could be stereotype, but it's true. I mean, put the music there and look at my rhythm, right? Any African can do that, but not another person. You know, put them and you see like they're dancing out of the beat. So it's, and even when I got here, you know, I realized that, man, like we do have a lot in common. One day I wore my shirt, my Tanzanian shirt, and somebody told me that, oh, this is Ethiopian. I was like, no. It's from my country. And this, it just shows us that Africans, we're one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a lot of things that we share in common. We have a lot of beautiness, and it's who we are. It's what we do have. That, you know, whatever music you do have, whatever music I do have, it's what can unite us, right? It's what can bring us together. It's what can show the world who we are, right? And that's why, you know, our messages, we always talk about how can we, you know, focus on what we do have in common. Because you go anywhere in this continent and you realize that we have a lot of things in common. I eat food here. It's pretty much the same with my country as well. I said we don't have injera, but we have a lot of stuff. Like, you have tips here, we have nyama mchuzi, you know, in Tanzania, and it's pretty much the same, right? And you can come Tanzania and survive. I can come here and survive, right? You can see how, like, it's beautiful. That's what I can say.
Okay. And you've been in Ethiopia for the last 3 weeks, and even you traveled more than me.
No.
You know more places than me in Ethiopia. So how do you find Ethiopia? I mean, you've been following Ethiopia through social media and through the music reaction, everything. Even you have a lot of Ethiopian friends before you come here, but experiencing it is different. You said that as well. So tell us about that difference and what you feel, and both the positive and the negative side. Like, 2020 is brutally honest. So